China's an interesting track with a good mixture of corners. I mean, there's obviously the very long low-speed corners at the start of the lap, a mix of high-speed corners in the middle, and then obviously the very long straight. It's like 1.3 kilometres worth of straight, where obviously you need to try and tune the car for speed. I mean, normally there you end up finding you run towards more the top end of the downforce range. But I'm sure as with that straight, overtaking is going to be, that's your one overtaking opportunity really. So I'm sure we'll all be looking at trying to trade our speed to make sure we can attack and defend. Yeah, I mean, we're obviously working as hard as we can to close gap to the top teams. Obviously Mercedes have a reasonable lead on the rest of the field. We're in amongst fighting for the second best team. So that's where our concentration is. We're developing a car, every part of the car, from power unit, aero, suspension, every area is important, and we're trying to maximise what we can to make as big a step as we can for each and every race.
Aerodynamics in Formula 1 are dictated by two main parameters, downforce and drag. A Formula 1 car is essentially the opposite of a fighter jet. In the case of a plane, the air pulls it in the sky and keeps it flying. In the case of Formula 1 car, it pushes it on the ground and helps it go around the corners much faster. The downforce a Formula 1 car produces is so huge that it allows it to go around the corners much faster than any other car. And together with a very efficient braking system, it can also decelerate much faster than any other vehicle. The process that gets us to good aerodynamic package is called aerodynamic development. There we try to develop every single component that is in contact with the external air stream. That may cover wings, may cover suspension components, bodywork and cooling ducts. Everything is developed using aerodynamic development techniques. We clearly prioritize between components that have more potential and others that have less. So we spend much more time in some areas where we can find a lot of performance, such as, for example, wings, and less time in areas which have much less potential of development. A development cycle starts typically in CFD. There, following an initial idea, we try to design a component to produce certain characteristics. That may take a few weeks. When we have some initial results and we think a component is still promising, then we take that same component to the wind tunnel and do some measurements. If the wind tunnel confirms the potential we've seen in CFD, then that component will be made for the real car, will be made in proper dimensions and go to the track. If on the other hand, the wind tunnel says that the component doesn't work properly, then we have to decide whether to abandon the concept or do another iteration. So we may redesign a certain feature in order to try to recover the performance that we didn't get the first time around. Aerodynamic performance in development isn't just about downforce and drag. Sometimes we get feedback from the circuit that the car may have certain characteristics that are causing the car to be unstable in certain conditions, or maybe where the driver doesn't have full confidence. In aero development, we then try to analyze these effects and develop and eliminate them, and hence give a car to the driver that makes him feel more confident and hence go faster.